Well, let's go around the housing markets over the weekend. And REA Group tells us there were just over 1,500 auctions. That's higher than last week. The clearance rate also picked up 66.3% in Sydney. 583 auctions, more than 68% of those were sold. And again, that's stronger than the previous week. In Melbourne, 526 auctions, about 70 more than the previous week. 69% of those were sold. In Brisbane, there were 81 auctions, just under 62% of those sold. Adelaide does continue to be the hottest housing market in the country, 63 auctions, 82.5% sold. In Canberra, 52 auctions, a clearance rate there above 65%. And in Perth, just 3 auctions, but there were also 526 private sales, which is fewer than last week. Now, let's bring in here Anne Flaherty from REA Group. And always good to have in the program on a Monday. I want to go to one thing. Everybody's talking about negative gearing. Will the government change negative gearing rules? Will they not? There's one other aspect of this. If they want housing to be more affordable, state governments could very well go and look at the stamp duties they impose upon people, because that right now is a major revenue earner for them.
Yeah, look, when it comes to property taxes, there's a lot of debate about a lot of different policies. But when it comes to stamp duty, I think that the opinions are pretty clear cut. Most of us all agree that stamp duty is an incredibly inefficient tax. It keeps people in homes too long. It prevents turnover in the market. And it's just a massive, massive burden on people who are considering selling and buying a new home.
So that being the case, I mean, give me some sort of, like, you've looked at the numbers. What's it look like as compared with in the past? Is it more or less affordable?
Look, stamp duty has just really experienced what we call bracket creep. So as it stands at the moment, for someone looking to purchase a median-priced home in either Melbourne or Sydney, they have to fork out $45,000 just in stamp duty, just in that tax alone. Now, that is a significant upfront cost, and it's actually equivalent to about 50% of the average person's full-time half-yearly salary.
Okay, so then compare it with a few years ago. Have you done any numbers around that?
Yeah, look, it depends on the market, but we see in Melbourne, people are paying about 6 times more in stamp duty than they were back in the past, and in Sydney, it's about 5 times higher. A really interesting statistic is if you look at a family that bought and sold a home 4 times in Sydney over the past 20 years, they would have paid 10 times more in stamp duty taxes compared to a family that just stayed put in the same home. So it is a massive disincentive for people to actually put their homes on the market to purchase a new property.
But there's one other reality here, and that is that home prices in our capital cities have risen much faster than people's wages. And so therefore the affordability of the stamp duty, which is based on the actual price or the valuation of the home, that tax is also much less affordable when it's compared with a person's wages.
That's exactly right. And where we see this really hit hard is for first home buyers. So, of course, what first home buyers often struggle with when it comes to getting into the market is pulling together that deposit. And we've seen that deposit hurdle grow as prices have risen. At the same time, of course, stamp duty has risen along with that. And we have seen stamp duty rise rapidly, especially relative to how much people's incomes have increased. So people are having to fork out a much higher percentage of their incomes in order to just pay for the stamp duty tax.
I'll tell you, when we talk about handbrakes on people buying homes, there is one right now. You just wonder whether any state government has the political will or bravery to be able to go there as well. Anne Flaherty, always good to chat to you, and many thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me.